Hi there, this is Craig Scott from Fight Talk. I'm joined on the call today by Craig Simeon, the two Craigs from Fight Talk on the same call. I've also got with me here of 4C Sports Media, the one and only Adam Noble. 4C, Adam, how are you, mate?
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks for having me on, mate.
No, pleasure, absolute pleasure. Thanks for joining us. Craig, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well, mate. How's yourself?
Good. Obviously, we're looking ahead. The purpose of this chat is to look ahead to a card this weekend, January 28th. Enormous card, a lot of good fights. Obviously, the headline fight is Frampton Santa Cruz number 2. What do we make of that fight, boys? Adam, how do you see that one going, mate?
Well, it's funny. I watched the first fight last night again, and it was an amazing fight. It was the fight of the year last year. But I can only see a more emphatic victory for Carl Frampton. I think if Leo Santa Cruz, I think all he'll do is try and walk him down, like he's done with most of his opponents. Like if you look at his record, he might get away with that against the likes of Kiko Martinez, but someone like Carl Frampton, who's so wily with his movement, you're almost walking into a trap. And I was impressed with the last way Frampton was able to stand and trade with him when he needed to. That seemed to take part in the first half of each of the rounds in the last fight, and he seemed to have no issue there. In fact, it was Santa Cruz who was rocked in the second round, I would think. So I see a very comfortable points victory for Frampton again.
Interesting. I think the one thing that stood out for me in the first fight was that it was extremely close, but I think when you look, the accuracy of the shots for me was telling as well. I think Frampton was picking some beautiful shots on the back foot, on the front foot, and yeah, I couldn't agree with you more when he was firing forward as well. He was walking forward as well. He wasn't scared to trade with Santa Cruz, and I think that kind of shook Santa Cruz up a little bit. I don't think he was expecting that.
No. Well, how did you score the first fight?
I had it Frampton by 1, maybe 2, depending on how you're given rounds. I had it very, very tight.
Yeah, I gave it a lot. I think I only gave it about 3 rounds to Santa Cruz in the whole fight.
Ah.
So, the better work came from Frampton. But yeah, I suppose it depends. There were a lot of fights. There were a lot of rounds. Where they were both landing big shots, especially to the body. So, I think if you look at when Frampton fought Martinez for the second time, he seemed to have him worked out again. I think Carl Frampton, he's in the sort of pound for pound Ring Magazine top 10, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
I think he is one of the best fighters in the world, and I think his intelligence in the ring and the ability to be able to think on his feet. Santa Cruz has been a bit of a sheltered champion, if you like. He kind of, that's happened to quite a lot of Heyman fighters. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think a lot of these guys over there can be protected for a long period of their career, especially when they first win titles. They can kind of be guided a little bit. Let me jump out to Mr. Simeon. Craig, how did you score the first fight, mate, and what's your view on this rematch?
Frampton up by 2 rounds. The first fight. This upcoming fight on Saturday night, I'm looking more to what Leo Santa Cruz can do. If he can do anything else apart from we know he's going to try and walk him down and use his pressure. I'm looking at Santa Cruz to see if he can do maybe anything else, if he's got a plan B up his sleeve or not. We know Frampton's he's very good in the back foot. He's got excellent counters. Adam rocked, I think it was the second round of the first fight. So this upcoming fight, I would probably say Frampton could get a late stoppage. But I'm looking to see if Santa Cruz can do anything possibly different this time.
It's a very good point. I don't think we've seen him do anything different up until now. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Just obviously we'll come back to that. That's only the main event on this card. We've seen a couple of weeks ago the James DeGale Badu Jack card. People were freaking out. You had that Fantastic card. You had Gervonta Davis just coming out and stealing the show. You had the cracker between De Gea and between Jack, and then you had that undercard fight. Alim, I believe, with that fantastic knockout. The big underdog there against Krylov. I'm never too sure how to pronounce that name. That was a great card. How good is this card this weekend? This card is madness. Adam, what are you looking forward to most, mate?
I'm looking forward to the co-main event, Zlatan against Mikey Garcia. Both undefeated fighters. It's great to see Mikey Garcia back. I think if he hadn't had his sort of 2-year layoff, he'd be in the top 10 pound for pound fighters at the moment. I can't, there's not many in terms of ability. There's not many better than Mikey Garcia, really. And Zlatan, someone, when he fought, he's beat some good fighters as well. He fought Red Cap and he fought Ricky Burns in Scotland. So he's this is a really good fight. This is a really exciting fight, and it's one of those fights where like Zlatan, a lot of people don't really want to fight him where he's so dangerous, but he's not very well known. But this is a great fight because we've got him going against Mikey Garcia, who has real quality as well. So that's a real 50-50 in my opinion.
Yeah, agree. It's going to be a cracking fight, and that for a co-main is massive as well. It just tells you how big this card is, because that's a standout fight on its own. And then I think if you look further down, I was discussing in work today with a kind of fringe fan, if you like, the card itself, and I almost forgot when talking about it. Lee Selby's fighting as well in the undercard, so there's a lot of class on there. Craig, are you looking forward to seeing Selby back? What's your opinion on him so far?
For a world champion, he's been very quiet over the past kind of 6 to 12 months. He's not really been hitting the headlines like he should be. I mean, we've seen him over here, but obviously he's really classy, but he's had a couple of fights over in America, and I don't know if it's something to do with the American fans. I don't know if it's something to do with them, but I don't know. It's a hard one to explain. I mean, he's a top quality fighter, and he's not really been getting the big fights that he needs to kind of propel himself.
I think the thing that I get from Selby is his performances are only as good as the opposition. If that makes sense, I honestly feel as though when he steps up and he fights these big names, I think you're going to see a different fighter. And I think a couple of these guys he's fought, he's maybe been caught a little bit cold, maybe in the same way James DeGale was against Chunky Medina. I think when he steps it up, I think you're going to see him perform where he should be in terms of calibre. Adam, do you rate Selby, mate? What's your opinion?
Yeah, it's funny with Selby. Ever since he's signed with Al Heyman, it's sort of like the complete opposite of what's happened to Carl Frampton. Carl Frampton has gone from strength to strength. He had that that big unification fight with Quigg, and now he's become like a two-weight world champion. So his career's just got better and better, and then he's now got a fight all fighters like to have on their CV, a big fight in Vegas. Whereas you look at Lee Selby, ever since he beat Gradovich for when he won the world title, he's fought Montiel in Arizona, and then he fought Eric Hunter, where he was quite lucky.
Yeah.
I've seen worse decisions given than that.
Yeah.
Against Eric Hunter, and that was when he won the world title was May 2015.
Yeah.
So and then again this fight this is mandatory.
I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, again, it doesn't light up his CV. In the 2 years since he's not quite 2 years, but in the time he's been signed with Heyman, he's fought 3 nobodies. Do you know what I mean?
And he's made. I remember I watched first of all, I watched the Gradovich fight, and I thought he looked exceptional. I thought he outclassed him.
Oh, he looked brilliant.
And then I remember watching the Montiel fight. I stayed up to watch that fight, and I just remember he made hard work of that fight as well. Now Montiel's a guy that's obviously fought for titles before, and he's been around the block. But I just thought Selby made it look hard on that night. But hopefully we'll see a little bit more of Lee Selby this year. More active, bigger fights, and we can hopefully see the best of him and see him start to realise his potential. I know his little brother as well is a class operator. I'm looking forward to seeing him climb up the ranks as well. British champion in his 9th fight, I think, Andrew Selby?
I think it was, yeah.
Crazy. So obviously very, very talented set of brothers there. We've got Scotland's own fighting on the card, Mr. Simeon. I know you're a fan of Josh Taylor. What would you make of that Vegas this early? It's fantastic for Josh, isn't it?
It's a great experience. I know he's been all over the world as an amateur, World Championships, etc., Commonwealth Games, Olympics and stuff like that. But I mean, over to America, big stage like this, big card, it'll do wonders for him. There's a lot of talk over here. Lara Davis has been calling him out a wee while ago. I remember that. Josh Taylor actually put up to Derry Holmes, Derry Matthews, knocks O'Hara Davis out. So it'll be interesting to see what happens after the fight on Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely. I think that division in the UK just domestically has a lot of buzz. There's a lot of buzz there, and I think a lot of that is created from O'Hara just losing his mind on Twitter every couple of days. he seems to be hunting somebody down every couple of days. It was Josh Taylor, it was Dave Ryan for a while, then I think he moved on to Derry Matthews, and recently I've seen him move on to Robbie Davis Jr., who had that great performance on ITV4 just last week. So I think O'Hara Davis is stirring the pot at that weight in the UK. But obviously a couple of big fights to come for Josh Taylor. We were, myself and Sam O'Reilly, were down at the State of Mind Fitness in Hammersmith yesterday, and we interviewed Dean Richardson, which is up on the Fight Talk page. Dean currently 3-0 with 3 knockouts. He was doing a bit of sparring with Josh Taylor a couple of weeks ago, and he said he's just a different level, you know. Said he's just a different level operator. He was trying to watch out for things, and he was trying to be very cautious, and Taylor just, everywhere he went, he just kind of knew what was going on. So very interesting to see the difference.
He stopped Dave Ryan. Dave Ryan has only stopped once, but it was due to a back injury. He played with Dave Ryan basically, and got him out there easy. So it's looks like a big thing ahead for him.
How quickly do you move someone like that? How quickly do you progress someone like that, Adam? Do you think?
I was going to ask you guys. Josh Taylor. I remember after the Dave Ryan fight, and we've all seen Dave Ryan on the Sky Sports cards against that, that kind of stacked domestic super lightweight division, and Dave Ryan, he destroyed him in 5 rounds, and no one does that. As Craig said, it was against John Wayne Hibbert. He had to stop, but he had an injury. After the fight, Barry McGuigan was saying he wanted to fight Ricky Burns in a year. Yeah. So, how likely do you guys think that fight is? Ricky Burns has a fight coming up against Ndongo, which isn't going to be easy, I don't think. So, is that the big fight? Could that even happen? Would there be more chance of the Ricky Burns fight happening if Ricky Burns lost his world titles, basically?
I probably would say yes if he lost. But
yeah,
I think if he beats Ndongo, I think he'll probably go over to the States and have a couple of big fights over there, I think. But if he was to lose, I think that would probably be the fight for Scotland.
I think the fascinating thing for me when you look at Burns is a lot of people kind of play down Burns' skill set, and they play down his achievements. Maybe not his achievements as such, but when you look at his record, I was looking at it the other day, and a lot of people were saying, he's got a few defeats on his record. Take his last 3 defeats. Look at his last 3 defeats. Terence Crawford, he lost on points. You've got boys like Gamboa are getting knocked out by Crawford. He got beat off Zlatikanen, who once again is defending his world title unbeaten, fighting against Mikey Garcia. And then he jumped up, went over to Texas and fought Omar Figueroa Jr. as well, another multiple weight world champion. Ricky Burns' record is solid.
Yeah,
I think
a good point, actually. He's probably given Terence Crawford his toughest test in the last few years.
And I think a lot of people forget about that.
Look at it.
Yeah, a lot of people forget about that fight. I mean, listen, he was outclassed on the night. Crawford is one of the best.
Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
But it's interesting when you take those 3 defeats in isolation and look at the careers of the opponent. They've just went from strength to strength. I know Figueroa's a little bit hit and miss, but he's world class, no doubt. The Ndongo fight obviously is going to be a tough test, as you rightly said, Adam. So yeah, obviously I don't want to go on too much about Burns. I'm sure we'll catch up about that in the future. This card at the weekend. Give me your predictions for the big four main fights, Adam. I'll go with you first, mate. Start from the top and give us your four predictions.
Yeah. So I think I've got Frampton winning quite comfortably by points against Santa Cruz. Yeah, I can see. I expect a really good fight again, to be honest. But I see Frampton winning at least a majority decision. I see Garcia probably winning by knockout against Latikanen. He's very big at lightweight, even though he has moved up to that weight. So I'd have to go with Mikey Garcia, even though he's had a bit of a layoff. I don't see Selby having any issues against Barros. I haven't seen that much of Barros, to be honest. Obviously, he's got that Frampton fight kind of half lined up for him if he wins. So he should be in a good enough mood to try and win that one. And then Josh Taylor, I wouldn't expect anything more than a great performance and a knockout if he is to progress to a world. You get that fast track to a world title. Yeah,
I think all very, very fair predictions there from you, mate. Simeon, Craig, any you going against the apple cart there, or do you think along the same lines?
I fancy if I was, I'd probably pick Frampton in points, but there's a possibility of a late stoppage. I'm going to go for Latikanen because
controversial.
He's only a couple of fights back, so I'm going to go for Latikanen all up southpaw. I'll pick Latikanen in points. Lee Selby, I think he'll win a unanimous decision against the tough Argentinian. And Josh Taylor, probably an early knockout, I would say, but hopefully he kind of gets a few rounds in over in the tank, but hopefully he'll do the business anyway.
I'm going to go. Let me throw this to you. I'm going to go Santa Cruz on points because I think it's going to set up a trilogy. And I think one of the things that I've kind of felt this week is these fights that he's having over there with Santa Cruz, these massive events that he's having over there, I think they're kind of getting underplayed back home. These are the kind of massive fights. I guess it's probably different in Belfast. They're probably making a crazy big deal of this. These are the fights we're going to look back on these in 20 years and go, wow, they were massive nights. I'm going to go for Santa Cruz on points. I'll go Garcia on points. Things like Cannon's tough, but Adam's right. He's big at the weight. I'll go Selby hopefully by stoppage, so we can see a bit of the razzmatazz, and then Josh Taylor. But I think he'll get a few rounds in the bag, and I think he'll soak up the experience as well in Las Vegas under those lights. Any last words? Any last thoughts, gents, on this weekend's action, or anything else at all?
No, I'm just looking forward to a great weekend ahead. Looking forward to a few good fights as we're talking about. Hopefully see a few good performances as well.
Definitely. Anything from you, mate?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like the last fight between Frampton and Santa Cruz was one of the best fights I've seen ever. It was amazing. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I think Santa Cruz is going to push harder, which is going to bring an even better fight out of Frampton. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it this weekend.
I think it's going to be fantastic. Listen, you're listening to Fight Talk. As usual, you can check out the YouTube page, you can check out the Twitter, the Facebook, all that good stuff. Also check out Adam's page, 4C Sports Media, pure quality content on there. You're always knocking out quality stuff, Adam. Always knocking out good stuff. So, what's the latest video on there, mate?
What's the latest video I did on Jamie Cox, unbeaten super middleweight? He had a bit of an issue with a court case, but then the court got thrown out. He was pretty much mandatory to fight for a world title. So he got held back. He's got great amateur pedigree, a guy from Swindon. So yeah, check that out. And then I did if you have got a lot of time on your hands, I did a bit of an Inside Box Nation with matchmaker Jason McClory, talking about pretty much everything that goes on about what goes on behind the scenes at Box Nation. So yeah, check them out. That's what's going on there at the moment, mate.
Excellent, and we'll get that tagged up so people can get on there. Fantastic videos. That Box Nation one is outstanding as well. I had to listen to that when it went up, mate. So yeah, good stuff. We'll catch up with you again soon, Adam. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate that. Myself and Craig will be back.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the boxing, everyone. Cheers.